SpaceX goes public this week as Elon Musk sells off a piece of the company to the public. Shares will start trading on the NASDAQ exchange.
And it's likely to be the biggest initial public offering in history. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger joins us now to break it all down for us. Good morning, Jill. Investors are scrambling to get a piece of this. What is your advice to them?
Look, like any risky individual venture, a stock, crypto, an investment in your friend's small business, we really want to see you limit the amount of your purchase to just a fraction of your overall investments, maybe just 5% or less. Remember, this is a company, SpaceX, that is currently operating at a loss. It's a big bet on Elon Musk. So if things don't go as you would hope for, you don't want it to drag down all of your investments. So keep it to 5% or less. That'll keep you out of trouble, but also you'll be able to participate if you want.
Jill, I had read somewhere that it might be hard for people like us, like regular people, to get some of these shares of SpaceX, but maybe not as hard for a company that is investing your 401k. I mean, what does this mean for that average person?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a normie, you're not going to buy shares through the IPO. That's just clear. I have never bought an IPO in my life, and I've been doing this a long time. But SpaceX may be inside of your retirement account. Now, the reason is that last month, the NASDAQ and the Russell indexes, they announced rule and methodology changes, and that those changes will allow the SpaceX IPO, then once it's trading, to be included in its indexes within 2 weeks of this deal. Now, in the past, you'd have to wait a year before an IPO could get into an index, and that was a measure that would protect ordinary investors from some of the hype. So it is possible that whether one of your managed funds, one of the index funds, will own the shares in this company without you necessarily knowing it. You may want to check into your retirement account and scratch beneath the surface to see if you own it or not. One holdout, by the way, Standard & Poor's, they're not changing any of their criteria, so there will be no SpaceX in any S&P fund, meaning the S&P 500 and their other funds, until at least mid-2027.
Okay. So what is this deal, what is it signaling about the current market?
Well, obviously the fact that SpaceX, an unprofitable company, can target a valuation of $1.8 trillion tells you that investors are really willing to pay up for potential growth, not just growth, but potential growth in the future. So this IPO, the future deals for Anthropic and OpenAI, these are going to raise billions of dollars. This is a scale without any precedent. Okay, so you ready for the boring Aunt Jill advice, which is, when you see big risk-taking, loosening of listing and index standards, huge enthusiasm for innovation, it can be, not necessarily it is, but it can be a sign of an overheating market. Now, by the way, overheating markets can last for months and even years into the future, but they can also end badly. So let's not take this as a clue
Jill,
that
sorry, I think our window is cutting off with you, unfortunately. So thank you so much for being with us. Of course, you can see Jill regularly on CBS Mornings and on the CBS Evening News. For more analysis, go to JillOnMoney.com.